What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another podcast episode. In this one, we are going to be talking about instant versus delayed gratification. So, do you want to start it off?
Sure. So I think where a lot of people kind of fall off the wagon, and I absolutely hate that phrase.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like it just has a bad rap. It feels like there's a wagon to fall off of.
There is.
No, there's not. Just get up and keep going and don't make a big deal out of it.
Sure.
Right? Like, we can agree on that.
Sure.
But I feel like that, I don't know, I feel like people who have a specific health or fitness goal, if they don't see that instant gratification, they're done.
Yeah.
And that's where you get overwhelmed. That's where you burn out. That's where you crash your metabolism. Like, that's where all the bad stuff happens. And you really need to focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, when I think about instant versus delayed gratification, I personally have a really hard time talking to people about that, because I feel like I know what it's like to be on the other end. I also enjoy that instant satisfaction, that instant gratification, like those instant results. But I know those aren't the ones that are going to last forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely struggle with this one.
Yeah.
Because I'm very much so very impulsive. That if I want something, I
need it now.
Have to have it right now. That is it. Like, end of discussion. like that's just the way I am with like purchases. That's the way I am with like food. That's the way I am with fitness. Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, this is what I want. I need to just go for it. But yeah, like there are certain times where like there's nothing wrong with having some instant gratification and recognizing that and just like being in that moment. And then there's also obviously a lot of benefit to delayed, where you're working on something, you have to be realistic with your expectations and understand that, hey, I've been overweight for 40 years.
I'm not going to have abs in 6 months.
I'm not going to be shredded.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to fitness specifically, that's where like crash diets and fad diets come into play, because they are what prey on those instant gratification people. Those people who have been living that life is how they gain that traction. Like that's always what it is.
And they're only making like a quick buck.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to do their plan or do their diet. You're going to see these great results. You're going to tell all your friends. They're all going to do it. Yeah. And guess what? When you stop it in a week or in 6 weeks after the plan is over, it taught you nothing. Yeah. So now you start going back to the way you know how to live, and those results unravel way faster. Yeah. I think a lot of people struggle with this in terms of mindset too. I think a lot of people will, listen to an audiobook or read a book about mindset, or even like a podcast or a YouTube video about mindset. Yeah. And they'll, like, the next day, they'll wake up eager to have like a positive outlook and whatever. And it's not just like, you can't do the whole 180 overnight.
Yeah, they try to incorporate everything that they just learned on the first day.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And then it becomes overwhelming, like, depending what type of person you are. Like, if you're a person that gets overwhelmed easily or anxious, then it's going to suck. Because you're going to essentially, you're either going to fail miserably and not end up doing anything, or you're going to do it all and realize that it's not maintainable, and then you're going to stop either way. And that is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like pick your couple things to tweak, ride it out. Once you get to a point where it's like, okay, you know what? This is the new normal.
Yeah,
like, this
second
is
nature.
Yeah, this is my new base standard. And then you stack on again and you stack on again. And that, like, and again, it's something that I always struggle with in terms of like everything, like honestly everything. Like there's no way, like I can't lie, like this is just something that like I always struggle with, because I am very much so like, if I'm going to change one thing, or if like my goal is, I don't know, if I have a specific goal in mind, I'm going to put everything I have into it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it all at once.
Yeah, I'm going to use your favorite example here. If you were training for a 10K, you would try your absolute hardest to run 10 kilometers on your first run.
Yeah.
That's Ethan.
Yeah.
In literally everything that you do.
And I do it, and it would take me 5 hours, and then
you'd hate it,
and then I'd be sore as heck for like a month, and then I'd never do it again.
Oh, that was such a good example for you. I feel like I've gotten way better at this over time. I have really gotten good at creating little habits and just making a big deal out of them. And I think that you played a big role in this, which I think is really funny, that you feel like you're the complete opposite, because I don't think we've ever talked about this on the podcast before, but it has been almost 6 months that we do the laundry in its entirety. Yeah. Washed, dried, folded, put away every single weekend for the last 6 months. Yeah. And I feel like the way, like, you made me have a realization that if you want a certain habit that sucks, I hate doing laundry. I absolutely hate it. If you want a habit like that to stick, you have to tie some sort of emotion to it. And I remember you saying that you had started like just getting so pumped about my reaction to having it all done every single weekend, that my excitement and joy and reaction about it being done is what like pushed you to keep going weekend after weekend. Yeah. And it has literally just snowball affected since then. Yeah.
Now it's just to a point where it's like, yeah, this is a normal thing.
It's like a non-negotiable. We don't even have to think about it or talk about it or plan it.
No, one of us just starts doing it, and then we both just or one of us does it. Like like, it doesn't have to be both of us doing it. Yeah. It's just like, it depends like how we're feeling.
Yeah. And like, that has been one of those little habits that has completely changed our whole lives. Like, maybe not you, but I'm the one picking the kids' clothes in the morning and making sure that they're dressed and ready and out the door. Yeah. And if it's clean and folded and where it's supposed to be, that's life-changing for me. Like, it makes such a big difference. And I feel like you're the reason that I had that realization. So I think it's funny that you can make me realize things like that, even though you still struggle with them.
You need to make me realize it now. Like,
I gotta figure you out.
You need to trigger my epiphany. No pressure. I've definitely been getting better at it too. And
100%.
And like, anytime I've like, again, tying it back to like fitness, like obviously I'm a big person. Like, I'm a large person. Yeah. So like, gaining for me, not an issue. Just not a problem anymore. But when I like, there are certain points where like I start getting achy, and I start like, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm walking at a very heavy weight that my body just naturally shouldn't be at. It's time to like drop weight. And the first thing that I do is I don't cut calories. I just strictly like stick to food, like actual
clean foods.
Sure, whatever. I would never use that terminology, but I stick to home cooked food.
Yeah.
Versus restaurant food or fast food, like even like not necessarily just the convenience food. Like before, I would literally like grab a bag of those freaking pizza.
Yeah. The
things.
pizza bites.
Yeah, and just eat those.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. And then like for me to tweak my diet now, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna start eating home cooked food.
Yeah.
So like we'll make our own rice, we'll make our own protein sources, and I'll just slap it all together, and I don't necessarily track. Whereas like before, it was like, okay, I need to diet, I need to drop some weight, this is what I'm doing. And I would just like instantly cut my calories, clean up everything, start doing extra cardio, and then it's like, boom, yes, like this is it.
Yeah.
And it would start happening very quick. But then I would, again, burn myself out and fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
So was it really useful? No, because I'm still a big guy. But I've definitely gotten better.
Yeah.
It's still like a constant struggle though, because I very much so have like, and again, it's not a bad mindset to have. It's just projecting it in ways that are smart.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, again, I've been 250 for 3-4 years now. Like maybe not 250, but like it's been a while that I've been like this heavy and this large. And so like I know, okay, I'm not going to diet for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and just be completely shredded and like
where
done
you want
with
to
it.
be.
Like just like, you know, there we go. I have my dream physique. Because even then, like, even if I did hit like a certain number, I would be so dissatisfied because like I feel like I have that mind where I'm just like, but now I need to get big again. Like now I need to grow more.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a constant evolution now.
Yeah.
Like where it wasn't that before. Before it was literally like, okay, like I just need to drop weight. Like I just need to get lean. But I didn't really have a reason.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, oh, I need to drop some weight and then I'm going to put some weight back on because I like being muscular and I like not worrying about, you know, oh, I ate too much and now I
just naturally happier out of.
Yeah, like I'm just much more accepting of like my body.
Yeah, for sure. And you said something that triggered something, but I feel like that kind of slow and steady, the term it's a lifestyle change or you have to make a lifestyle change is so cliche, but that is exactly what I think of when I think of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
It's just that lifestyle change, those small changes over a long flipping period of time.
Yeah.
That is going to get you to where you want to be. Because if you go the instant route, you're going to get those results. You could get those results really friggin' quick if you actually stick to a crazy strict plan.
Yeah.
But what happens when you are done that plan? You can't stay on that forever.
Yeah.
So as soon as you're done that plan and you kind of go back to normal, you're going to end up in the same position or worse than you were when you started.
I think a thing that a lot of people don't realize, and something that probably we haven't realized, maybe this is going to blow your mind, but like, and it's something that just literally came to me, is like, even in the delayed gratification, you can find instant gratification. It's just that your vision is clouded. You are only looking at the finish line instead of all of the wins along that route.
The journey.
Right? Like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's just like, you know, stopping to smell the roses.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things that you have accomplished along that path, and you ignored it all because it's not the end goal. It's not that specific goal that you want to achieve. And the worst part is like, usually when you get there, it becomes just a milestone anyway. Like, you're no happier now than you were when you started, because now you constantly are just hitting that new level, right? So like, your baseline is just constantly moving up on you, and then it's like, oh, this isn't like, I can do so much more. There's so much more potential. But obviously along the way, you start to get that mindset of like, oh, I can see that, like, look at that flower. That's a nice flower. I made that flower.
Yeah. So I think it's really funny that you said that, because I've been meaning to text you this since last week, and I just keep getting sidetracked. But I keep seeing this trend on social media, and it's like, it's all about romanticizing the small, mundane things that you do every single day to just try and make them feel more special, so that you can, just appreciate them more. And I started trying to do that last week. So like, my matcha that I drink every day, it's like, I just appreciate the way it looks and the way it tastes, even though it's something I do every single day. It's just that like weird enjoyment in the little things that I'm gonna do anyways. They're pretty much meaningless, but just making them more meaningful and fun is just one way that I've found that really helps you enjoy the process. But what do you feel like you could do to, and I don't want to say stop you from like aiming for that instant gratification, but like, what could you do, being that type of person that just is impulsive and loves that instant?
I need to analyze it. So like, this is something I do daily, because like, this YouTube channel, for example, I constantly am like, I need to post another video. I need to post another video. I need to post another video. Like, there are certain times where I'm like, I need to post like 20 shorts. One of them's gonna do good. And get me closer to my, like, and that's that instant gratification. And I get in that mindset where I'm like, I'm good. What can I post? What can I post?
Quantity,
what can I post? Yeah, like,
quality.
And I just keep doing that. And I'm like, but now I'm burning through content. And I've posted it all in one day. Most of it has fallen to the wayside. Whereas like, if I would have potentially waited for a better time to post this, who knows what it would have done, right? Because there are times where I posted the exact same thing. I posted them at different times, and one does well and one doesn't. Right? So like, it's just kind of taking a step back and just like breathing and just looking at it and being like, okay, am I just throwing myself at this for that instant feeling of success? Or can I just be patient and just allow what I put out there to just be accepted? And tomorrow is another day. Right? Because I know inside, like, truly deep down, that like, that's not the way to do it. Like, that's not the way to get me any closer, because now that's gonna become my baseline. And then eventually it's gonna get to a point where I burn myself out. So it's like, I know it's not realistic for me to be able to post 10 shorts a day. That's too much for me. Like, that's too much for me. And some people can, like, influencers and certain content creators definitely can do it.
Sure.
But like, that's not what I want my approach to be, because I don't want to have to maintain that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to maintain 10 or potentially start increasing it even more to 15 to 20.
Yeah.
And then like, it's a constant battle of like, oh my God, I'm posting 100 shorts a week. Like that's just sounds
unrealistic,
so unpleasant. And I've been doing a very good job of still enjoying the journey.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I find I'm still able to just kind of look at it and be like, man, like this literally started 4 months ago.
Yeah.
4 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, look what I've managed to accomplish in just these 4 months.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I feel like you've also been really good, like in terms of the YouTube channel, at appreciating those small wins and recognizing those small wins. And even like if you have a video that did really, really, really well, you don't get discouraged if the next ones don't do the same or better.
Oh, I definitely do.
You
I
do.
just don't vocalize it, and I don't feed into it. I don't. Like I'll be like, oh,
that sucks, but move on.
Like
you're not going to dwell on it.
Video, like our last podcast.
Yeah.
Did very well for my standards.
Yeah.
And then we posted another video that I was like, oh man, this one's gonna do just as good. Like the content was great.
Yeah.
The picture was great. Like everything about it, I was just like, this is going to be just as successful as that other one. And it did half.
Yeah.
Literally performed half as well.
Yeah.
It was still good. It was still like, it still performed well to my standards. Like,
yeah,
it hit that minimum number it had to. But at the same time, I'm like, my other one just did twice as well as this.
Yeah.
And like, there was no difference in them. It wasn't like one was severely planned out more than the other one. It's not like one thumbnail was better than the other thumbnail. Like, if anything, the one I posted second was better than the first one.
For sure. That's what I was
like
gonna
that
say.
One. Yeah. And when it's just like, it is what it is. And it's move on and be better.
Yeah.
And eventually all of the work will pay off.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's it that I have to say.
Me too. So that is it for this episode. That is our take on delayed versus instant gratification. Let us know which you are. Are you more like me, or can you appreciate those little wins along the way? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and until next time, peace.